Simplicity is sophistication. I'm Craig Collins, CEO of Granite WMS. Today I want to talk to you about user interfaces and the simplicity of a WMS. So in my past, and we're talking 25, 30 years ago, I used to have to train operators how to use a mouse. And we're talking about putting a Windows computer into a warehouse. And the operator didn't even know what a mouse was, let alone how to drag and how to move it on screen. So we used to give him solitaire and teach him how to do that. With cell phones, we've become app-based, and everyone carries a cell phone now. So it's way more easy to deliver a user interface to a person and to teach them how to use it. But the nature of the app has made the user interface form-based. And that means that as a process becomes more complex, so you have more pieces of information on the form. And this doesn't make for easy user interface, especially when a process is complex. And put on top of that, the operator, who's not an MBA, a management accountant, a finance person, he's a forklift driver. He's not paid to have computer knowledge. So now you go in with a WMS and you try and teach these operators how to use a complex process. It doesn't work. So what do we do to simplify the user interface on a WMS system? Well, we follow a process-based approach with process steps. Now, each step is a single prompt on screen. So that means that you ask him which location he's in. You don't have to worry about the product or the order or the truck. You ask him which location he's in. Once he's entered that piece of information, you ask him the next piece of information, which is scan the product or enter the truck registration. So now you've made the user interface simple, but also following a step-by-step process. And that is, for me, the key to building out a user interface that can transcend from the stores in the middle of Africa through to the Silicon Valley warehouse where the operator is still a forklift driver. So a couple of examples. We have a customer in Miami, a company called Vertilux, and they make blinds, so blinds that block out light on windows. They buy in rolls of material to make these blinds, and every roll has got a 30-digit number on it. That number includes a purchase order, a batch, the product ID, the length of the roll, the weight, the date it was manufactured. And what they used to do, they used to get a container with, say, 400 rolls in it, and they'd have to write down this 30-digit number for every one of those 400 rolls. You can imagine, it's 2 days of work to unpack a container. And the guy doing that had to be the cleverest guy in the warehouse. But even then, he made mistakes. And then it went to data capture. And they would go and frantically capture it and find that they've got products in the container that are not on the purchase orders. Now, in these containers, they mix purchase orders. So trying to reconcile this data was a nightmare. With Granite, we were able to put in a really, really simple process where all that the operator does is he scans every roll in the container. We do all of that processing afterwards. And they were able to get the container receiving process down from a 2-3 day exercise to a 20-minute exercise. Now, that was due to a simple process, simple user interface, and efficiency in the process. There are quite a few other examples of this, and where the simplicity of the process has made it so much more accurate, so much more efficient. I think of companies where we do receiving in medical industry. Boxes of cell phones where you've got 30 cell phones in a box and you have to capture every serial number and every EMEA number. And again, by giving them a process scan. But the best example of this was one of our customers, a company called Diesel Electric. They're in Johannesburg in South Africa. And they had 15 people out there picking products, and it's small components and parts for trucks and forklifts and things like that. And what they did was they would go and pick everything, bring it in a supermarket trolley to what was effectively a cash out or like a point of sale thing and then scan every part so that they could pack it into boxes. They had a customized piece of software written for them to do this, and it was slow, cumbersome, but it was great. It had multiple colors and gave them some information. So what we did was we looked at the current user interface, and we were now putting in a standard warehouse system as opposed to this customized packing process. So we simplified the packing process. We built it into our method of managing a user interface process, but due to our flexibility, we were able to add the colors and add some of the clever things that they had built into that user interface. And today, they've got 12 packing stations all in one area and people scanning as if you're in a supermarket. But the user interface is tailored using a standard WMS, keeping it really simple, and it makes the process so much more efficient. The throughputs that they're getting through there are better than when they had the customized solution. And we know that the picking is now more accurate because we're doing that with scanners as well. And what type of operators are we talking about? Well, we're talking about forklift drivers and pickers who walk around with trolleys in the warehouse. We're not talking about accountants. So the user interface is really, really key in these WMS systems. And how do we simplify them? With our experience of working in Africa, building a system out of Cape Town and Johannesburg, and now bringing it to the world, we're rolling out in warehouses in the UK, in the United States, in Asia, in Dubai, and every single one of our customers is valuing the simplicity of our user interface. So if you have complexity in your warehouse, if you're battening to get things done, you need a simple user interface. You need a solution like Granite WMS.